My Scranton story really began in the Diamond City. I'm a Diamond City girl, which is Wilkes-Barre. I was born in Wilkes-Barre, and actually my earliest remembrance of Scranton is the Everhart Museum. Every summer we would come up to the Everhart Museum at Nay Aug Park, and I was particularly attracted to the nature exhibits, the animals, the native animals, the taxonomy, and also the artwork around the museum. And that would change periodically. But I loved coming to the Everhart Museum. And then Nay Aug Park at that time had a zoo. So I came to Scranton not only for Nay Aug Park and the Everhart year after year, but the Scranton CYC. And they were my earliest remembrances of Scranton. But along the line, I had transferred to Marywood from Wilkes College. And my own personal vocation to become an IHM sister led me to the heart of Scranton, to the IHM Sisters and to Marywood University. So I kind of make the joke and say all roads lead to Scranton. I am back in Scranton for the last 15 years, and I spent over 12 years in Guatemala serving. And then I was asked to come back and head up the IHM Sisters Office of Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation. So I'm here the longest I've ever lived anywhere, for 15 years in Scranton, so I consider myself a Scrantonian. First of all, my religious congregation, the Sisters Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And our sisters, just to give you a little brief history, we were founded in Monroe, Michigan in 1845. And in 1858, we moved to Philadelphia. It was the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And when Scranton became its own diocese back in 1871, our sisters began a mother house, our mother house at what is now the property of Marywood University. And so when I chose to enter the IHM congregation, Marywood, the IHM Center, is home base. It's kind of the mothership, and for all of our sisters. And so certainly that is the core of who we are. So we're really all in some way Scrantonians. Nativity Parish, which is now called John Newman, our sisters have taught there and have been a part of that parish since the very beginning. And it is a wonderful parish of original descendants of immigrants from Europe and the newer immigrants mostly from Latin America. But when the new immigrants, the Latino immigrants started to come from Mexico, from Central America, our sisters were right there. And I, coming back to Scranton after having been in Guatemala, feel a real connection to accompany the immigrant population, especially those from Central America, from South America, and from Mexico. And so there are two groups that really I can connect with. The city as a whole, something that I struggle with. Being out of the country, I've witnessed a lot of poverty, living in Guatemala. And coming back to Scranton, we have wonderful organizations, just wonderful community organizations that are really safety nets for people, and they are so needed. But one thing I don't see, and we all try to do our piece, solutions to, why are the same people who have been hungry 15 years ago still going for the safety net services? Why are they still hungry? Did we forget to ask the question, why? What do they need? Do they need an education? Do they need to learn how to manage what money they do have? Do they need to be skilled in something or re-skilled? I think sometimes we forget to ask those questions. And very honestly, I was stunned one time. I was volunteering at one of our organizations. And a woman came up and she said, I've been coming here, my mother has been coming here, my grandmother has been coming here. And my heart sank. I thought, we're not doing something is missing. maybe we're not asking the right questions. Safety nets are crucial. They are crucial. People need to eat. People need their basic needs met. But I think we're sometimes forgetting to ask the justice questions. When looking at northeastern Pennsylvania, I come from a family of coal miners. Both my grandfathers, from my mom's side of the family and from my dad's, were from Eastern Europe. My grandfather on my mom's side was from Poland, and from my dad's side was from Ukraine. And so we all know that northeastern Pennsylvania, we were great polluters. We were, it was really what made Scranton, you know, the ironworks, the coal mines, the factories. But what we didn't know then is that a lot of those means of employment, especially for the immigrants, we didn't realize what they were doing to our earth and to human beings as well, with black lung and all the other diseases that we now are aware of. Scranton has wonderful green areas still. I would love to see more work done on creating more green areas, especially in communities where there might be a lack of green areas, where there are many apartments, where children, when they go outside, they really don't see green. One of the things that we as IHM Sisters are doing is attempting to restore our own land to be a little bit more like it was originally, with native species. It doesn't matter if you have a large piece of property, if you have a little yard space, or if you live in an apartment and you just have a windowsill. Everyone can plant something native. Everybody can be a part of the solution, planting something. As a U.S. citizen, I'll say U.S. citizen because America is really all of North, South, Central. And I learned that by living in Guatemala. And so when we say, God bless America, it's not just us, it's everybody. It's all of America. And better yet, God bless the world. I am a privileged person, without a doubt. I don't have a lot of money. My family doesn't have a lot of money. My religious congregation doesn't have a lot of money. But we are so privileged. We live in a country where we can criticize whatever and we can be unhappy, but we live in a country where we have freedom of speech. We have freedoms to do many things, but we also have responsibilities. And we have responsibilities, I think, to look at not only our neighbors that we know, but to look at those new immigrants and the people we don't know, to look at them not with walls between us, but to look at them, to look in their eyes. Did you ever really look in someone's eyes? We're not really good at doing that, because if you don't look at someone's eyes, you can say whatever you want to say about them. But when you really have a conversation and you look into someone's eyes, you almost see your own reflection. But you realize that there's something deeper than the body that's in front of you. And you realize there's a heart connection. That's my dream, that some of these divisions might begin to break down. Wherever there's chaos, good things are going to happen. And I feel like we're in a very chaotic time right now. But we know from history, we know from life, that whenever things are chaotic, it seems like it's the end of the world. Something new is waiting to be born.